Hello, YouTube. Hello, everyone. It is the Horsemen Hangout for Tuesday, July the 29th. Summer is almost over, but we are still here. We are live. The Horsemen Hangout. Glad to be here. Glad to be with all of you. Some exciting stuff to talk about. As you know, this is me with my belt, Mr. Justin. There's Mr. Z joins us tonight live from the actual Horsemen Hangout.
Yep, live from the real, living, breathing Horseman Hangout.
It's almost as if, it's almost like the WWE Hall of Fame. It doesn't have a real home. The Horseman Hangout didn't have a home. It was just a on-air hangout. But Mr. Zorzi's hangout is the actual physical location of the Horseman Hangout, if you will. So, and there is Mr. Roo TV right there.
How you doing, guys? I got a pepperoncini pepper right here. We are Italian, and we're eating hot peppers. We don't care if we even burn, because, hey, buddy, that's just how it is. Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Lane, who has on his boogie board Maddox Glavin Cox, Hall of Fame 2014, the best. 3 exclamation points.
Yeah, absolutely, because I want to talk Hall of Fame tonight, so I'm ready to go.
All right, let's do this. All right,
We'll let you say a few things about Cox later on in the show.
Absolutely, I look forward to it.
All right. Let's jump right into it. Actually, I wanted to talk baseball first because our other guests that will be on probably don't have an opinion on the Hall of Fame. So here, I'll just come out and say it. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the year 2014. The Atlanta Braves have the legendary Tom Glavine, Greg Maddox, and of course, skipper Bobby Cox. Talk about Cox. To induct these Hall of Famers, I'd like to call to the stage a lifetime Braves fan, and please feel free to get emotional, Mr. Michael Lane. Mike, take it away.
Well, thank you very much there, Z. These were some quality talent that the Braves have had, for a long, long time, and, I just have to, the Braves were one of the best franchises in like the last 20-plus years. Great franchise. I mean, Bobby Cox was the manager. He managed them, for about 20 seasons, just about. And another underrated statistic. There's 2 interesting facts I have to bring up about the great Bobby Cox. Some people might not know about it. Number one, these are non-Braves related. Number one, he managed the 1985 Blue Jays to a division title. They eventually lost to the world champion Royals, which was Kansas City's first championship. And then number 2, he was part of the late Billy Martin's coaching staff. He was the third base coach for Billy Martin back in 1977.
Of course.
So, when people think of the Reggie Jackson 3-home run game, he was a New York Yankee as well. And we have to bring up Joe Torre and Tony La Russa, and of course the big hurt Frank Thomas. This was arguably probably the best Hall of Fame class you will ever see in the history of Major League Baseball by far. 3 quality managers, you had 3 quality players. It just doesn't get any better than that. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but is that a tear I see streaming from your?
Little tear. Why not? Because this was a great moment, in baseball. But I mean, Greg Maddox, arguably some will say, some other pitchers, but I feel that Greg Maddox, in my mind, was probably the best pitcher I ever saw in the history of baseball by far.
Roo, I'll go to you on this, and I know a lot of times you've questioned me and wondered, these guys are getting in the Hall of Fame, Maddox, Glavine, the big hurt Frank Thomas, but you always wanted to know, and you always ask me this every time I see you, why hasn't Ryan Klesko been added to the Hall of Fame? Do you have an answer for that?
Me?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't that good.
Yeah, but you bring up Ryan Klesko a lot to me. Yeah, you want him in the Hall of Fame, right?
I want him in the Hall of Fame, but I'm coming to grips with the fact that he wasn't very good.
And Mr. Z, should Fred McGriff be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, well, the crime dog, he had a very productive career, with the Braves and later on Devil Rays, and I think he played for maybe a few other teams mixed in there. And
San Diego and Toronto, Z.
Yeah, he was the spokesman for the Tommy Mansky videos, if y'all remember those infomercials.
Yeah.
But if I could say a few words about the Hall of Fame class, I agree with Mr. Lane. All of us, we may have our differences in terms of teams that we root for, but we all love and appreciate the game. And there were some fine players and great, men that went into the Hall of Fame this past weekend. I was telling Justin the other day, I can't believe Frank Thomas's numbers. If you look into them, he was extremely, extremely good, and I feel very underrated. I feel like he was always in Griffey's shadow. But I give it up to Glavin and Maddox and Cox, and I don't care for Tony La Russa that much, but you can't deny that he's a good manager. 2011, was a fluke, but other than that, he's a great manager, and it's good for baseball to have such a great Hall of Fame class.
Did anybody hear what Greg Maddox said about his brother and how he used to do a trick with methane and a lighter? Did anybody catch that?
I missed that, Mr. Lane. Did you see Did you see his speech?
Well, I didn't see too much of the Hall of Fame coverage, to be honest with you. However, I do have it recorded on my iPad, so I will watch it later. I do have my TiVo app on my iPad, so I'll watch it later.
If you watch it, I think he was referring to the fact that former Phillies pitcher Mike Maddox, Greg Maddox's brother, used to light his farts on fire.
Well, that's it.
Now some people think that's inappropriate to talk about during a Hall of Fame speech, but I thought it was kind of funny. So go back and watch that. I don't know if there's videotape.
I think it's inappropriate to talk about on the Horsemen Hangout. Thanks for bringing it up, Brew.
Well, I'll watch that when I get a chance, though.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We'll watch that.
If you wanted to play a practical joke on someone, would buy or sell lighting your farts on fire?
Who's the question for, me or Ryan? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to sell lighting your farts on fire.
Well, I would just sell that. I think the hot foot was always an excellent freaking trick too. I mean, the old hot foot, they still do that today if you ever pay attention to that stuff. But I mean, they always do the old hot foot. They'll try to, stick it to the back of a player's cleats, and then they still do that today. The hot foot was excellent.
That's a great trick.
Now, Mr. Lane, if I could ask you, are you looking forward to any other players in the next couple of years getting into the Hall of Fame? Like, do you have anybody off the top of your head?
Well, you know what? I was going to say Ken Griffey Jr. I know is eligible in the next few years. John Smoltz should make it, and I think Randy Johnson will be in there too. So I think Randy Johnson was one of the reasons. Griffey Jr. as well. Those guys, changed the culture of Seattle baseball. But if there is a guy that should deserve Seattle recognition to the Hall of Fame, I think it should be Edgar Martinez. Edgar Martinez, I thought, was one of the best hitters in either league, in the National or American League.
He revolutionized the DH.
Yeah, well, DH has been around for like 40 years now. I think it should be time for it to be recognized, to be in the Hall of Fame. It should be, recognizable now in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you're seeing college teams using the designated hitter now. You're seeing minor league teams using the designated hitter. I mean, it should be recognized, to an extent when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Hopefully in the next 10 years. Which, speaking of 10, you only have 10 years of eligibility on the ballot. So that's right. How that goes. So I have to bring that up.
Let me interrupt you guys right there. First off, I want to say, Ant, I noticed your camera looks really great. Yeah, let's do a little tech talk here. But you have a new laptop, correct?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I got a new Dell computer. Well, a new Dell laptop.
The camera looks really good on it, very clear. It might be because I'm used to seeing your cell phone, which is like very blurry.
Yeah, the cell phone was god awful, but I'm glad to know the camera works because I literally just set it up like seconds before we started. So.
Yeah, it looks good.
Nice.
And as we were talking about the Hall of Fame, we have a guest to join us, friend of the Horsemen Hangout, Mr. Mark Golden. There you are, right there. How's it going?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Golden.
Just in time for one of the main topics that happened this past week. And I'm going to let a couple of you guys carry this conversation. and I'm going to let Mr. Rue TV take it because I'm not a fan of Impact Wrestling. I used to be. I was a big fan of the X Division back in the day. Haven't really watched it. I'm still a fan of Kurt Angle. But Rue, I want you to lead us off here. What what went down? Is this the end of Impact Wrestling? Is there any chance for reclamation? And where do we go from here?
Well, let's preface it by saying that neither Impact Wrestling nor Spike TV have announced publicly that the deal is done. This is all conjecture. TMZ reported it, so I don't know. You can take that for what it's worth. But from all accounts, Spike TV has decided to not renew TNA's contract, which ends in October. So as you know, just like when WCW went under, without the television deal, the wrestling company isn't worth a hill of bullcrap. So, with that said, and here comes Stephen Page, I think. I see the Triple H guy in the corner there. With that said, if we're going to go under that assumption, to me, I don't see TNA surviving for much longer. That's just my opinion. Now, they could, if they wanted to downscale and move from a non-televised product to an indie product. I mean, they could merge with, I don't know, ROH or something and become a successful indie company. But I really highly doubt, if this is true, that Spike TV pulled out and does not want anything to do with them. I highly doubt that they would find a sweeter or as sweet TV deal as they have right now. Yeah. Prime time Thursday night on Spike TV. And it's bad news. I realize you guys don't watch Impact, and that's okay. But the reality is, like, you know, with one mainstream wrestling organization, that's bad news for the business. Because for one thing, that's one less place for everybody to work. So there's less spots, so people are going to be out of work. And with no competition, people get complacent. Not saying that TNA was, you know, breathing down WWE's neck, because, in my opinion, they've been kind of going downhill in the past year or two. But yeah, it's bad news. And now the reason, we'll get into this in a little bit, but I'll wrap my diatribe up in a second. But one of the reasons, apparently, that it came to the forefront is because TNA, Spike TV found out, apparently, I don't even know if this is true, that TNA had Vince Russo on the payroll and was consulting. And for some reason, they feel that he is the Antichrist, and because TNA was hiding that from them, that influenced their or expedited the process of saying, "Listen, we're done with you." So I think you know how I feel about Vince, and I'm not going to be biased or anything, so you can take it.
All right, no, I'll just jump in there. I wanted to add something. I read a retweet. I think a couple of you guys did it. I saw Dixie Carter, I think it was today. She actually said that they were in negotiations with Spike TV. So is it dead? And I'll throw it over to Mark, who has a lot to say on this issue.
Well, yeah. I mean, even when reached for comment, Viacom representatives said we cannot comment on during ongoing negotiations, which means to me that maybe they are not renewing the current deal, but are going to get a lot less. Same thing happened to WWE when it comes to USA Network. They received a lot less money with their new contract on the USA Network than they had before. So it may just be a case of them not renewing the current deal that they had with TNA, but we'll actually see them making less money, which is also bad. But at the same time, their ratings have been going up during the New York shows comparatively to what they've been in recent months or even year. And they also, TNA has just signed a lot of their roster to multiple-year deals, and they also have a talent agency representing them. So I don't think that they are just going in without having a plan B or a plan C. There's so much talk of plan B and plan C on wrestling, but I think TNA has something in their back pocket, too.
Yeah, I'd like to also welcome to the show Mr. Stephen Page, who just joined us. This is unprecedented. We have 6 people in here. Stephen, I know you're an Impact fan. Sad day for the business for you with possibly Impact Wrestling going under?
Yeah, you know, I mean, like everybody said, you know, with, you know, like you said, they're not really, you know, up there for competition per se with WWE, but, you know, it's still a wrestling product, and it's still, you know, something good to watch on Thursday nights.
Options.
You know,
Everybody needs options. Fans and
it's sad
wrestlers.
to see them go. If they are going to be gone, it is going to be sad to see them go.
Yeah. Mr. Lane, do you watch Impact Wrestling?
Well, I only watch Impact Wrestling every once in a blue moon, to be honest with you, and I just think it's horrible news. I thought Mark and Steve brought up some solid points, but I hope the TNA doesn't go under personally. I mean, it represents competition, and I thought and if it's true that they sign talent to multiple year contracts, that's interesting. That is very, very interesting that you say that, because I hope it doesn't. I just hope it doesn't die. I mean, it's a very passionate wrestling organization. I know. It might be a little bit off key, but I know I think co-founder of TNA. I think Jeff Jarrett. He's supposed to be having a different wrestling organization for himself. I like to see how that one goes. Personally, I want to see how that will be in the forefront. What kind of television contracts and advertising will we see when it comes to that Jeff Jarrett wrestling organization? He signed some potential international talent. I heard from Japan and Mexico, just to name a couple of countries there. But I know he probably signed some talent from other countries. But I want to see how Jeff Jarrett's organization will go, and I hope TNA doesn't go. You know, I as much as I don't watch it, and much as I'm lukewarm towards the product, it's a change of pace as far as I'm concerned with TNA, as far as I'm concerned, no. But I wish I could watch Ring of Honor, but unfortunately here in the Philadelphia market we don't even have Ring of Honor, and I know that Rue had went to a Ring of Honor show, I think at the Asylum Arena, aka the ECW Arena. I wish I could watch a Ring of Honor show personally. I would love to watch that. I want to see that.
We had Justin Zorzi and I have gone to many Ring of Honor shows back when Daniel Bryan was working for them, and it was a good time. I don't know why they don't run Philly too much. I know they run the what is that arena? They don't run the arena anymore, but
The Armory, right?
Yeah, they've gone downhill. They've got, just my opinion. I think when God, what was his name? Booked it, not Gabe. I think it was Gabe. Yeah, Gabe Sapolsky that was booking it. It was much better when Sweeney was around. Larry Sweeney, R.I.P. God rest his soul, and guys like that. So,
not to change the subject, you talked about some Japanese guys. I heard the WWE made the sign. Triple H got the young guy from Japan to be in the NXT. Does anybody have shed some light on this? Is this guy going to be a game changer, or who is this guy?
Kenta?
Yeah.
Him and Prince McDevitt, too.
Are they?
I believe.
This is Sin Cara version 2.
No. Go ahead.
How old is Kenta? Do you know? Because I'm pretty sure I heard something.
He's not a spring chicken. I think they're bringing him in more so to work with the NXT guys.
Yeah, the reason I say that is I'm pretty sure I heard CM Punk say in an interview that he stole. I mean, he admitted it. That
Go to sleep.
He stole the go to sleep move from Kenta. So to tell you, Kenta is a very innovative wrestler.
Interesting.
Steven, do you know who this Kenta is?
I don't watch much Jap. I mean, I can't really comment on him. I don't really watch Japanese wrestling. I've seen some stuff on YouTube. That's about as far as I can go on comment on that.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I'm sporting my, ironically enough, New Japan T-shirt right here that has I think Albert in there somewhere. Well, anyway, yeah, we saw New Japan at the ECW Arena once, so I got a T-shirt. So
nice.
Yeah.
I want to get Z in his convo here. Him and I are very big Kurt Angle fans dating back to his Olympic days, of course. There's been, with the downfall of TNA, a lot of people have suspected that Angle said that he would like to come back for maybe a Hall of Fame, get back in the ring. Z, I'm going to say your answer is going to be yes. I was going to ask you, would you like to see this? But more importantly, I say, if he could get back in the ring in WWE, who would you like to see Kurt Angle wrestle? One or two guys.
Well, I mean, the first guy would definitely be Daniel Bryan. I think Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan could put together one hell of a match. I don't know Daniel Bryan's plans moving forward, nor do I know if Kurt Angle will be a part of WWE's future, but that's definitely a dream match. And I know he's not the same guy he was back, few WrestleManias ago. Actually, a lot of WrestleManias ago now, but I would love to see Angle and Brock again. Brock, like I said, obviously isn't the same wrestler he was, but I feel like those two could put on a show. Not like the show they put on at Mania, but I still think it'd be a great match. And why not bring Kurt Angle back if he's clean? He can still wrestle. So.
All right, this is a good question here. I'm gonna ask the rest of you guys. If you could take one guy off the TNA roster, and you can't pick Angle, so pick somebody, and then you can't pick him anymore. To be on the WWE roster, who would it be? Let's just go there. So I'll go to Steven right now. One guy off that roster.
One guy off that roster.
Not Angle.
Not Kurt Angle. I'll just, Cowboy James Storm. I'd like to see what WWE could do with him.
Okay. Rue.
Well, the first name that comes to mind most definitely is Samoa Joe, and I think Joe deserves a shot. I realize he doesn't look like the typical WWE, muscular guy. He's a bit overweight, but he can still move, and I'd like to see what they do with him. Hopefully, they don't turn him into Umaga too.
All right, Mr. Lane.
I was going to say Austin Aries, because I think he's an excellent freaking wrestler. I like Austin Aries. I've seen some of the matches in the Ring of Honor. I think Austin Aries would be very good with WWE. That's the name I could think of, Austin Aries.
All right, and at Real Mark Golden, who do you got?
I would have to say we're not repeating names, correct?
Correct.
I would have to say Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode, I think, would be at least upper mid card to even main event at times guy. Bobby Roode for sure.
It's funny, all those guys. I said I don't really watch Impact anymore, but all those guys you guys just mentioned, when I was a fan of Impact, I all saw wrestle and they were great, especially Aries, James Storm, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe. I loved, so still love Samoa Joe. Love to see him in the WWE. But all right, it's 9:28 here. We still have to get to what happened on Raw last night, but how about a quick interlude, if you will, just to break things up here. I'm going to do is I think we had some success last week. As I said, the MLB trade deadline is happening Wednesday night into Thursday. We talked about what you would trade and what you would keep. So we're going to do version 2 of that since the trade deadline is still upon us, and we have 6 guys here. So let's get this thing started. I got some images here. I'm going to ask you similar format. I know Mark, you weren't here, but you'll catch on. It's pretty easy.
I watched.
All right. Give me a holler. Hope it doesn't freeze on me. Can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to do a little different take on it. Last week I gave you all things would want, but this time I'm gonna, give you something else. So can you see that? Can you see that right there?
Yes.
Yes, that looks like a pile of dog shit, yes.
It's actually cow shit. It's cow dung, if you will. So that's cow dung. So, Mr. Zorzi, you have in your hand a pile of cow dung. Do you make the trade for a pile of cow dung for a Justin Bieber album? Believe album. What would you rather have?
Well, given the fact they're both shit, I'll probably take the less messy of the two and go with the album because I don't want, actual shit on my hands. I'll just take a CD of shit on my hands.
All right, he takes Justin Bieber over the cow dung. All right. Moving on, we have Mr. Roo TV. Mr. Roo TV, you have Justin Bieber album in your hands right now. You're listening to it. You're dancing to it, probably. Would you trade that for watching the entire Tour de France?
Would I trade the Justin Bieber CD and in return I'd have to sit through and watch the entire Tour de France?
Basically, what would you rather do?
What would I rather do? I'd probably rather listen to the Justin Bieber CD for comedic purposes and just to shit all over. So I'm gonna keep the JB CD yeah, I'm gonna keep the Justin Bieber CD and act like I'm a 14-year-old girl. Yep.
All right, there you go. And there goes the Tour de France, which I think is one of the most boring things to watch on TV.
Oh.
So, and I think I can't see, but I think Steven's up next, if I'm not mistaken. So, Steven, you have the Justin Bieber CD. Would you trade the Justin Bieber CD for? I don't even know what this is. Let's see. Oh, a bearded woman. Bearded woman. So you could have a bearded woman or the Justin Bieber CD.
Looks like
I
Kevin.
would. This is a tough one.
You can't shave her beard. You have to keep it on.
All right, I'll take, for comedic purposes, I'll take the bearded lady.
All right, there it is, the bearded lady. So that bye-bye Justin Bieber and bye-bye Tour de France. We have the bearded lady. I'm sorry, I only have one more option. So Mark, we're not going to get to you. We're going to end it here on Mr. Lane.
Okay.
Mr. Lane,
Yes.
either have this gorgeous, beautiful-eyed, bearded woman, or you can have the following image. Now, let me just say this. You would be Doink the Clown in this image. So this or Doink the Clown in this image.
Oh my goodness.
That is Bastion Booger. I forgot what that move was called. If you remember, he would just smash his,
Well, let me clarify there. I remember this night, and Doink the Clown did not wrestle in that match. It is the Bushwhackers and Men on a Mission in Doink gimmick. And
Oh yeah, that's right. That is
yes, Queen Bastion Booger's legs. That is, I think, either Butch or Luke as Doink. So either way, that's besides the point.
Oh my goodness. Gee whiz. I would probably have to say that the goatee lady. I mean that unless I'm out cold, in the wrestling ring like that. I would just have to say the bearded lady just for heck. That's where I'll
a
go.
pretty lady if you shave her beard, but like I said, you can't shave her
But
beard.
you can't shave. But like I said, for comedic purposes and whatnot. So
Right.
Can I throw in something here about the Doink and the Survivor Series there? Who would sit around a table in 1990? I think it was 94, and say, well, we've got this match here. Let's think of something cool that people might be interested in. Let's put Doink makeup on Mabel, Mo, Luke, and Butch. It's going to be the most over thing since freaking Hogan, Hawkins. Like was it Pat Patterson who sat there and was like, we needed to put the Doink makeup on them. It's going to be the best. Trust me, Mr. Mega. Then how did Vince okay that? Was that like, oh yeah, that's a damn good idea, Pat. Let's put the Doink guys on Mabel, Mo, Luke, and Butch. That's genius. Let's do it.
Hey, Rue. let me show you something. Mark, you watched it. Mr. Lane, you watched it. Rue, you watched it. Steven, you watched it. And Z, you watched it. And I watched it. So that's why he did it, because we all watched it and we bought it, didn't we?
Well,
Good
back
point.
then it was I think 94. So WCW kind of sucked and.
No, think about it. That's in '94. What was WWF's target audience? Was
Kids.
it
10-year-olds. Yeah.
So, what do 12-year-olds like? Clowns. They're not, it's like the Mabel with a clown mask. So,
Well, hey,
Cena.
what happened last night? We had a guy coming out with his party gang, and one of them dressed as a bunny while he beat up a guy dressed in a spaceman suit. I mean, it hasn't really evolved a whole hell of a lot in 20 years in certain ways.
Hey, I remember one thing about that match. I remember being visibly pissed. 94, so I'm 33 now. 94, I was probably about 13 maybe, or 14 or something. 14 maybe. And I remember, probably not about 13. I remember being very pissed off because I think that was the show, I could be wrong, but I was a big mark for the heel Doink. I love Matt Bourne, who passed away a year ago. And when they got rid of Matt Bourne and replaced him with a fake Doink, you guys might not even remember, it was some dude, and that bugged the hell out of me that they just replaced the character with another dude and just said, oh yeah, this is Doink. It was not Doink. Doink is Matt Bourne. So then to see the Bushwhackers and Mabel and Mo do the gimmick like a freaking circus, it was lame as hell. Even as a 13-year-old, I hated it, but I still watched because I was hardcore WWF guy. So.
All right. So let's jump right into Raw from last night, which I saw most of, but not all of. So a couple talking points. I guess I don't want to start with Bo Dallas because that would just seem like it's silly. But let's talk about that promo. The promo, you got the internet and Twitter buzzing. John Cena heading towards SummerSlam with Brock Lesnar, and hey, love him or hate him in the ring, love him or hate him in his character, but John Cena on the mic with Paul Heyman on the other end of that mic is magic. And Z, did you get a chance to see that there?
Yeah, I gotta go, so I'll give my raw thoughts and then I'll exit. But I saw it and I really like what Heyman's doing. I mean, he's great. The only thing I didn't like about Raw, and I wouldn't have ended the show with a women's match. Like
Right. I agree.
But like I was so bored. But you know what? They're building SummerSlam up pretty good. There are definitely some things I'm interested in. But I feel like they're doing a great job with the Cena and Lesnar match. Heyman stepping in for Lesnar when he's not here. He's been money with his promos the past couple of weeks. The SummerSlam build's been pretty good, but I'm sorry, guys, I have to go. My idiot cousin locked himself out of his house, and I have to go bring him the key. So have a good rest of the show, and I will touch base with you guys soon.
All right, Z.
Thank you, Z. Right on, man.
All right. Steven, are you on the? I can't see you anymore. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I can only hear you. I can't see you. But anyway.
Your head looks blue. Your head looks very round and blue in the picture.
It usually does. Him and I do that show on Thursday nights. His head usually does look really round and blue.
Oh yeah, please watch the O'Reilly Hangout Thursday nights at. You guys do it at 8 o'clock typically?
Usually 11 o'clock. We go late. Yeah.
Yeah, we do it after Impact. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Steven, this promo leading towards SummerSlam, I think it's gotten me a lot more interested in the match. I think they're doing a good job. What do you think about the Cena Lesnar build here?
I think, Paul Heyman, like everybody says, I think Paul Heyman's great, and he could sell, ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. That is a Tommy Boy reference if you didn't get it.
I do. I remember hearing that.
But, Paul Heyman, like I said, great, and then you even had Cesaro come out and, cut a good heel promo, It was, taking jabs at Cena, and that was for, the internet community, obviously. But, I like the start of the build here, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Steven, we still can't see you. Just FYI, you're still just audio right now. So,
if any of you guys want to jump in on the Cena Lesnar, go ahead, because I have some other stuff for Raw. But basically, if you want to add something new instead of just it's pretty straightforward. I mean.
Well, we'll have to see how the John Cena Brock Lesnar thing will go. I thought Cena's promo was solid. I mean, it was a very solid promo what he did, but I think a lot of us will see that Brock Lesnar will probably beat John Cena at SummerSlam. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's just gonna be a brawl. It's gonna be a straight up street fight. It'll rarely be a wrestling match. I expect this to be a street fight, really. You know, because I mean, excuse me, during Brock Lesnar's first run at WWE, he beat John Cena. He kicked his butt. Yeah. Really, I mean, he kicked John Cena's butt. And now John Cena is the main guy in WWE now, but let's face it, he hasn't won that much in SummerSlam, and we all know he lost to Daniel Bryan, and then Daniel Bryan got robbed, really, of the WWE Championship by the authority of course Randy Orton and the McMahons, of course, Triple H part of that stable as well. So
I have a hunch about something, and I don't know if I'm going to be right about this, but I have a feeling that Brock is leaving the WWE after WrestleMania, and I have a feeling he's going back to UFC, and I have a feeling what they did was took the remainder of the dates that he had from April to December, or whatever his contract ran out. I don't know when it ran out, but whatever the dates he had remained, I think they bumped them up to between now and Mania, so he'll have more time to be on TV. It's still not going to be like a full-time. He's still a part-timer. But I think that's just my opinion. I think that's what's going to happen because the way his schedule is, I can't see him being champion and being on the show that little. So I think what they did to resolve that is take all the dates post-April and bump them up to now, and then I think he's going to leave in April. I feel like he's going to go back to UFC. My opinion. That's what I want.
We'll see. I mean, I would certainly Dana White, I think, said he was up to bringing him back, and he would be a big draw.
I really do.
Money-wise, that'd be huge. But if he's healthy, maybe he does it again. Mr. Golden, I believe the last Cena and Lesnar wrestled at, was it Hardcore Rules? Was it? I think so. Was it? That was
Extreme Rules or something. Yeah, who won that?
It was a great. I thought it was great. I mean, can they replicate that at SummerSlam here?
I think that.
Yeah, Mark.
I think a few months ago, John Cena said something regarding to be the new blood in this company, you've got to go through me. Or to be the hot dog, the top dog in this company, you've got to go through me. And I think that was kind of a precursor or a prelude to SummerSlam. And I think Ryan's right. I think they'll probably condense his dates, so he will be at least on the pay-per-views defending the title in the next year. I think he'll win it at SummerSlam. Will they replicate? I think it'll be a violent match. Sure, I think it'll be aggressive. Yeah, I think Brock's going to go over here for sure.
Yeah. I just thought of something. We talk about Paul Heyman. He has to be one of the most valuable assets in the company now. And where would Brock Lesnar be without Paul Heyman? Because, he can't be at a lot of these dates on Raw, obviously. So you'd have to have a mouthpiece for him. If Lesnar's not there, Heyman's not there, what would they do? I don't know.
Well, we got to remember. I'm sorry, Justin. I do remember a little bit when Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar did go at it a little bit. I think like after Brock Lesnar won the championship the very first time about 11 years ago, or 12 years ago rather. 12 years ago. Yeah. I think it was right after. I think it was right after his first championship run. He had F5 the Big Show. And then Paul Heyman screwed him out of the championship at the time, because I do remember that. That was really the only time I think Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar really went at it against each other. But really, primarily, Paul Heyman's been the vocal speaker for Brock Lesnar really ever since his return. So that's basically all I have to say.
Yeah. All right. Well, regarding other things on Raw, I want to get into. I do want to be out of here by 10 because I have some things I still have to do tonight before I go to sleep. But
okay.
I have some trivia here for y'all. It's regarding what we saw on Raw. The feud between Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella continued. Stephanie has been, in my opinion, pretty great as a character.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting because I guess she's gonna wrestle.
Yep.
How's this going to happen? I don't. She's a mother of two. Steven, has she wrestled before, Stephanie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she wrestled Vince on No Mercy.
Yep.
Yeah. Can she?
2003, I believe.
She's a former women's champ.
That's right.
Absolutely. Mark is absolutely correct. Yes.
And I believe she's actually a mother of three, actually.
Oh, three. But, she has had some enhancements, if you know what I mean, Steven. I don't know if she can get around like she used to. Her breasts.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of girls that have had enhancements in wrestling.
I don't want one to pop out.
Triple H guy, Steven, in terms of Stephanie McMahon, we got 2 words for you.
Suck it?
No, I mean,
Come on. What's her attributes?
H-U-G-E, remember?
Big titties?
Oh man, you're ruining my idea here. Well, anyway, it was H.
Her boobs when she was getting arrested, they looked really strange, didn't they? When they were her chest.
Yeah, that they did kind of. I've seen pictures since. I didn't really notice it on the live program, but I've seen pictures since. Yeah, they kind of did look a little weird.
But what was it? What are they called, Stephen?
Big titties.
All right, we'll take it. All
right, I will take it. All right, so in the spirit of, and by the way, I wanted to throw out there That's you guys have mentioned that Stephanie's wrestled, and Vince has obviously wrestled. I think Shane, we can all agree, is the athlete in that family. He's
Shane was great.
yeah,
Absolutely.
he would do things that he didn't, as the son of Vince McMahon, didn't have to do, but he put on a good show, and we miss it.
King of the Ring versus Kurt Angle was insane.
Yes, 2001. Yeah.
They really need to put their. Now I know Vince still loves Shane, but they really need to put out a best of Shane McMahon DVD and have his match versus Test, his match versus Angle, his match versus X-Pac. I can't name a bad. It wasn't technically the best, but even the spots were pretty crisp and always entertaining. I love Shane's matches; they're pretty crazy. I never expected that. Even coming from somebody who gave him the benefit of the doubt and realized he wasn't a wrestler. All his matches were fun.
Yeah.
Shane O'Mac, man, he was great. You're right.
Yep, miss him. But he's got a great job now, and I'm sure he's happy doing his sports agency thing he's got going. So, and he's making tons of money. So.
And Vince Russo said he was really fantastic. He was great to work with too. Vince Russo said that.
Cool. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I'd like to promote. Mark, you're a columnist on the Pyro Ballyhoo over there, right?
Yeah, I wrote an article, and I've been asked to write some more, so I will do so. Yes.
There you go. I was just getting that plug-in right there. All right.
Thank you. Pyroandballyhoo.com. Thank you so much.
All right. I said Pyro Ballyhoo. It's Pyro and Ballyhoo. There you go.
That's right.
Oh yeah. And I know Rue's a big Russo guy. Russo has a new podcast out, correct, Rue?
Yeah, very much so. You can watch it for free on the same website. He's interviewed Daphne last night. Prior to, he interviewed our friend Ed Ferrara, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. A lot of cool insider stuff on there. And I don't know if you heard Justin and Mr. Lane and Steven, but there was a little debacle online with Taz.
Ooh, yeah.
Publicly saying that he wanted nothing to do with Russo anymore, and he was annoying and get away or something like that. But I don't know. I questioned Taz on it because I love Taz just like Vince said he did. And I've always been a mark for Taz. Matter of fact, the character Louie in our Basement Wrestling Federation was based on Taz.
Yeah, brother.
And yes, and matter of fact, I used that word when I was talking to him today. And he kind of gave me a little attitude. He said, please don't butt in and don't talk about, stuff you have no idea. I think he said you have no idea, whatever it was. It was kind of ignorant. But again, I'm not turning it ugly with Taz. As you know, Justin, I've turned it ugly with a lot of personalities in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And Roseanne Barr.
Yes, a lot of. Yeah, my temper is easily flared. But
name some people you've gotten blocked on Twitter by.
Okay, Roseanne Barr, Jim Cornette, JBL, Kevin Steen. The list goes on. There's a bunch.
I got three. Then I don't. Go ahead. I'll tell you my three, and I don't even know why. But go ahead.
There's a few more. Any comedian. Oh, you know who I was blocked? I was blocked. This is strange. I was blocked on Vine by Chris D'Elia. Is that his name? The comedian Chris D'Elia.
That's weird.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. I think I might have said something to offend him. But
Mark, who are you blocked by?
I was Chris Jericho.
Jericho.
Yeah, Jerry the King Lawler and Dave Lagana. And I cannot tell you what I did to any, or what I wrote, what I tweeted, I honestly don't. And I've even tried to comment in something that they commented in on, like, hey guys, tell me what I did, because I don't know. And I can't. They don't reply, so I don't know. Jericho, Lawler, and Dave Lagana.
But just to finish, I tweeted Vince a couple hours ago, and he actually didn't tweet back, but he DM'd me about an hour ago and said that he feels that the situation is a lot of guys in TNA are really, really high-strung, really tense, and really anxious and feeling out of their minds right now because of the situation. So in that respect, he said that's why Taz was a little touchy, and maybe he because of the situation with Russo, maybe he thinks that he caused it or brought it on. But at the same time, I said, it's pretty lame and high school of Taz to go publicly on Twitter and saying that he unfollowed. That's what he said, by the way. I forgot to say that. He publicly tweeted, I unfollowed Russo. Like, really? What are you, 14, Taz? You're 40. You're gonna say, I unfollowed Russo. He's annoying. Get away. Okay, I'm not at Delsey High School anymore. So
if that's a PR move to distance themselves from him, if that's the reason that Spike is dropping them, why would they care who writes their show? I mean, really.
This is the funny part. And again, I'm not. I have to put my bias because I'm. You know how I feel about Vince and everything, but when Vince wrote, the show actually was higher. They got higher ratings when Vince was there. I don't think Vince ever. And if you want to say like, okay, well, Russo is known for controversial things and pushing the envelope. Spike TV has 10 times worse shit on their network than the one thing that I can think of. The only thing that might be a little controversial that Vince booked was Orlando Jordan a couple years ago.
The gay guy, yeah.
Squirt lotion all over himself. But in 2010, that's when it aired. That's nothing. So I don't know what their deal is. My opinion, and I'll shut up after this, and I'll hang up, WIP, is that I think whoever at Spike disliked Vince Russo read into the internet hype. They might have even read the shitty book that Brian Alvarez wrote a couple years ago, Death of WCW, which is a tabloid book that none of it is even factual. It's basically his opinion that he passes off as fact. They might have read that, coupled by the fact that the majority of the smart marks hate Russo, and now they're thinking, well, why are we even employing this guy? We don't want him, because other than that, I don't see the product that when Vince Russo was head writer for TNA, I don't think the product was controversial or much. It wasn't really even that much different than.
There's something with the Japanese too, with Muda and with.
Yeah, I know exactly what the deal with that is. They wanted to work a deal. TNA wanted to work a deal with New Japan or All Japan or whatever the hell it is. They're all the same to me. Ironically enough, I'm wearing a T-shirt. But the problem is they don't like Russo because 10 years ago or however many years ago, 15 years ago, Sonny Ono filed a discrimination lawsuit against him because he thought that Russo was discriminating against minorities and Asians or whatever the hell it was. So Sonny Ono is an asshole. He's a jerk. So that's
but look where their pay-per-view is too, though, is in Japan, the Bound for Glory, and that's still a TNA deal. It's not a Spike deal. So I don't know.
Yeah, but
let me jump in there because it's I want to get this trivia in. So
sorry.
That's all right. That's fine. That's what we're here for, the hangout. So all right. So getting back to what I was talking about, Stephanie McMahon. Our trivia tonight is based on the McMahons, the most powerful family in professional wrestling. I got some questions here for you, and I think Steven's back. He's back. Okay, we lost him, then he got back on. He's back here. All right, Steven, we have McMahon trivia here. So. Just scream out the answer, yell it, scream it, cry it, whatever you want to do. All right, that might be a good promo mania to do. All right, question number 1. Linda McMahon, we all know her, very good broad. Lost 2 elections. She ran for something. Name the office that she ran for.
Senate.
Mark said it first, and you're both correct, but. Mark is correct. The U.S. Senate, Linda McMahon lost, so Mark gets 1 there. Okay.
Mr. Lane, would you vote for Linda, Mr. Lane?
No comment, man. I'm not going to say anything right now.
She's a Republican. Of course he wouldn't, and I wouldn't either.
All right. Let's not get into politics here, but anyway, question number 2. We talked a lot about Shane McMahon tonight. Please name Shane McMahon's theme song.
Here comes the money.
Oh.
Wow. That was a tie, I think, between Mr. Lane. I think Mr. Lane got it first, though. Okay. I think it was very close, but I think I heard Mr. Lane first. It's Here Comes the Money, one of the great theme songs I could ever think of. Money, money, money. You know, we all know that one.
Excellent.
Mr. Lane one. Okay. All right, question number 3, y'all. In what year did Vince McMahon buy the WWF from his father?
Oh.
1993. Or 1983.
Wait, is he all right, well. I'm going to say.
Not 83.
Is it 83? I don't know.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go 81.
No.
I'm going to go 82.
82 is correct, Steven.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, that was according to Wikipedia, so hopefully that's right. All right, so Steven gets 1 there. All right, so 1 to 1 to 1. All right. My last question here. How am I going to do this? Because I wrote down. Let me think how we can do this. 1 to 1 to 1, and I have these names here. So, you know what? Let's do this. We'll just do a closest to the pin as I normally do. All right. So you all are familiar with Mr. McMahon's infamous "Kiss My Ass" Club. I want you guys to give me the number of. Does anybody? Now you guys are gonna know that. Can anybody name all 6? I'll say that.
Jim Ross.
Jim Ross is correct.
William Regal.
Correct. Whoever gets the most names.
Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon, yeah. Anybody else want to jump in? Go ahead.
Those are the only 3 I could think.
What about Trish Stratus, right?
No. Steven said William Regal, Jim Ross, and Shane McMahon. There's 3 more.
Really?
According to Wikipedia, there's 3 more. I know for a fact there's 2. I saw 2 of these. The one I don't remember.
Kiss my ass, come on.
All right, so I'll give it to Steven, and Steven will be our winner tonight because he's going to take it 2 to 1 to 1. But the other 3 they have listed. is Mick Foley. You all remember Mick Foley, right?
Oh yes, that was when he was with Melina. Yes.
Yeah, Mick Foley, Hornswoggle. That must have been like 4 or 5 years ago. I think they did it with Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
And the one I don't remember, and I don't know if this happened, but I saw it on a website. Shawn Michaels was in that club.
No, Marty Jannetty. It wasn't Shawn. It was Marty Jannetty.
But I don't think he ever did it.
It wasn't Shawn. It was Marty. It was Marty Jannetty. That was a mistake. It was Marty Jannetty. Whoever you read that, it wasn't Shawn. It was Marty.
Okay.
Because he had to kiss his ass. He had to kiss his ass to get his job back at WWE.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Cut to me right there. Cut to me right there. There's...
I don't know how he did that.
Dude, it looks like he's taking a dump.
I like my favorite part. My favorite part, guys, is if you look closely. Let me zoom in. Look at Vince. Look at Vince. Look at Vince carefully hold the tie over his wing.
Hold his shirt.
Yeah, that was must-see TV. Look at his socks pulled up real high.
And look at Marty's. Marty's expression here. Let me zoom out. Marty looks very, very thrilled.
You know, how much work did he get out of that? It sucks. Look, what's Marty Jannetty doing now?
Marty's probably still doing indies, but one thing I remember is his butt was always tanned. And am I dreaming? Hopefully, I wasn't dreaming about this, but wasn't he at one point he had like a black like jockstrap thong on or something, or he would wear like or if he didn't wear it, he would have like a tan line where it looked like he tanned with a woman's thong on. He's like, oh, Mr. WB.
He can make his ass do tricks.
Mr.
Yeah.
His ass do tricks. I would love to be working at the Hollywood Tans or the gym when he walks in. He's like, all right, time to tan the cheeks again. All right.
Mr. Lane's got a video of Damian Sandow.
I just think this was hilarious. I thought what Damian Sandow did Vince McMahon, that was funny. It was hilarious, and I know Stephanie Stephanie stopped it, but I have that clip on my Instagram page. I mean, it was funny. It was hilarious. I mean,
guys, sorry to cut this short. I gotta go.
Hey, how about the rest of us keep the show going?
We could, but I don't know if you guys can't really stop the broadcast. I have to do it. So
yeah, you're the host, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only one who can click it off, so we won't be able to save it. So
let's do our final thoughts because I have some business to take care of in a minute too. So maybe we can pick it up a little later on tonight.
All right.
I'll be around.
All right. My final thoughts. Let's see. I'm ill prepared for this, but
Justin, before you get into that, I want to make a suggestion. I want Mr. Lane's final thoughts to be in Rusev's voice.
Yes, I think we all want that. Rusev, Lane, Went over very well last week. It was one of the great promo manias of all time. We'll see if
Mr.
we'll see if he does that come final thoughts time. But my final thoughts: end of July. Looking forward to August. Yeah, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. Have a good week. Steven, any final thoughts?
Not really. Thanks for having me on the show like usual, and
Of course.
I hope to get my laptop fixed. I'm sorry about the mobile device.
Yeah, have it ready for Thursday. I'm not going to deal with this talking to you through your phone.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, Mark, it will not be ready by Thursday. What happened is the charger port on it bent into the computer, so I have to get it fixed.
All right. We'll jump to Mr. Mark Golden here because I know Rue and Mr. Lane have their final thoughts are highly anticipated. So not to say that yours aren't, Mark, but go ahead if you have any final thoughts.
Well, thank you for the consideration. Would either of you, any of you, like to be on Thursday night with us? Or more than one. We can have more than one. Anybody want to be on with us this Thursday night? 11 o'clock after Impact Wrestling.
I'd have to get back
I'll
to you.
pass. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry, buddy. Maybe the following week. I'll be on vacation potentially. So, I think the following week we'll do maybe. You can come back to me on that.
Yeah, I'd have to get back to you.
All right. And another one, Ryan, check out Drunk History on Comedy Central. It is really hilarious. And also Nathan for You, which comes on right after. Nathan for You.
What about me? I like comedy. I've seen the show. I saw it last year, and I thought it was great.
Yes, it's on right now. I'm watching it with the phone off. But check those shows out. Check us out Thursday night right here on Google Plus Hangouts, O'Reilly Hangouts, Wrestling Hangouts.
There you go. Root TV, I will go to you for your final thoughts here.
Well, I'd just like to say that I'm going to pull an audible because something happened last night with a guy on Twitter named Smith Hart, who was Bret Hart's oldest brother.
Yes, he and I follow each other on Twitter, yes.
Yeah, I'll try to be somewhat respectful because I know you've had discourse with him. But he said that Vince Russo murdered Owen. And,
I don't agree with that. You're right.
And
That's
killed.
what I got to say to Smith Hart right there.
You know what? That's my final thought too. To Smith Hart. There you go, Stephen Page, right there. That's the Smith Hart, right? That's about very nice. I don't think anybody. First of all, I understand why people dislike Vince Russo, but I'm not one of them. But to claim somebody's a murderer and then to have Jim Cornette give what Smith said his endorsement, dude, just grow up, please. I don't like Jim Cornette either, but I'm not going to claim that he's something that he's not. So that's just silly and childish. So grow the hell up, Vince. I know Vince has battled with depression, and just knowing that probably put him in a bad place last night. And thankfully,
he said that about Cornette too.
Cornette. Who said what about Cornette?
You're saying Smith Hart said that?
No. After Smith said that, Jim Cornette either retweeted it or commented or something about it, like endorsed.
You know what? Even Stu, if I got the Bret Hart book, even they said the Hart family thought about Owen's death, and even Stu said, it was an accident. He did not hold WWE or anyone in the office responsible for the death of Owen, and it was an accident. And that's exactly what it was.
But screw that, and I support Vince, of course, but we're not going to beat that broken record. I support Vince and Ed. Also, I want to give a little quick plug to my YouTube channel once again. Big announcement coming soon this October. It's going to be biggest Root TV announcement of all time. Hopefully,
Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
Rob Zombie.
We'll have Rob Zombie's movie part of that. Yeah. No, all right. Now I want to turn the floor over to Mr. Rusev.
Mr. Rusev, your final thoughts.
Rusev Clash! Rusev Clash! Bye-bye, Horseman.
Mr. Lane, I know we'll sign off of this. Mr. Lane, can you talk about your move? Because I'm going to help you move next Friday, I think, or the Friday after that.
Yes.
And can you talk a little bit about that? But talk about that in Rusev's voice. The move in Rusev's voice. Go.
I will be moving in August. Rusev will be moving.
All right, there you go.
All right.
All right. Thanks for the Rusev impersonation. Thanks, guys, for joining the show. The Four Horsemen and Mr. Z, who's not here, Mr. Mark Golden, Stephen
Thank
Page, O'Reilly Hangout on Thursday nights after Impact, 11 o'clock. Pyro and Ballyhoo.com. That's all the plugs. Root TV on YouTube, all the Twitter feeds, you know, all that stuff. So I got to get out of here. So everybody have a good week. Have a good start of August, and we'll see you here next week. So see
Good
you
night,
later.
everybody.
Right
Thank you
on.
for having us.
Right on.
Woo!